I wanted for myself to have a lot of responsibility in the success of my team.
Hi, I'm here with Vivian Spencer. Viv and I were like freshman year friends at first, like you know, like the first like week of freshman year when you meet a bunch of people and that you became like this huge friend group and then you just hung out with them all the time. Like that was Viv and I's friendship. You had a very specific vision for yourself freshman year.
Yes, very narrow-minded and yes.
But I think I was the same way and we'll get into that one day, but can you kind of list like some of those expectations that you had for yourself, like when we were 18?
Yes, I was extremely competitive going into college, and I just kind of wanted to set the bar high for myself at all times. With just reality happening, those expectations I set for myself, I kind of had to adapt, and that was a really hard thing to do.
Yeah. Whenever you come in with like a recruiting process, like things can change a lot.
What you the vibe you get from the coaches prior to arriving is very different than what you experience after that.
Yeah.
And that is expected and it should be that way. But I did expect that I would be, with time and effort and, you know, my confidence increasing, I expected myself to start. I wanted for myself to have a lot of responsibility in the success of my team. Without that ability to compete, play contact with your team, you know, with a lot of players, it lowered my confidence a lot. It didn't allow me to really gauge where my place was on the team competitively. And coming from Florida, I didn't really have a lot of experience playing, you know, at that level.
Obviously, there were grad students in the NCAA before, but I think we can all say that the introduction of the COVID year changed things a lot, especially for high school athletes coming into college.
It was honestly fortunate to have like two players to really provide their experience and leadership, you know, in a time when all of us were kind of just seeking normalcy. But as far as, you know, what my expectations were prior to getting it to Cornell and then after I did, it wasn't something that I expected. Our goalie coach, who was also kind of our assistant coach, he had actually called all of the goalies and let us know that, hey, we have our grad player coming back. You're probably not going to be getting too much time this season. And kind of like, okay, I guess I'll just work hard this year to get better.
Yeah. So at this point now, we've missed out on competition during our first year and had very small practices based off what we were allowed to do with COVID.
Yes.
And now you come back for your sophomore year, and now there's this grad student who's coming back who you weren't preparing for. And then what happens that really switches everything up too.
So sophomore season, we were heading into IB playoffs. And outside of practice, I suffered a pretty severe concussion. In my mind, I just really cared about keeping practice time. I really just wanted to be able to go to practice and play. That time was really sacred to me, especially with all the stress of, you know, engineering. And I kind of foregoed my health. And as a result of that, after the season, I realized that I had a traumatic brain injury, and the doctor let me know that I couldn't play contact sports anymore. And so that was really tough.
Definitely.
My career ended a bit earlier than I had expected.
Definitely not in the plan. What is helping you get through the now?
Patience and, sounds corny, but positivity. Seriously. It's really a matter of keeping my eyes forward instead of focusing on all the things that happened over the past 3 years, because the second that I look back at those things, it makes me upset and it stops my progress. I developed so many skills all those years playing lacrosse, and they can only make me they can only serve as like assets moving forward. So I just try to keep a positive mindset and my eyes forward.
Hey guys, it's Sydney. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Talk About It. If you did, make sure to leave a review and send it to a friend. Let's keep this conversation going. I'll see you guys next week.